Hi, welcome to Dev's Kitchen. My name is Deborah Dinze. Today we're going to be making turkey noodle pepper soup. And this is a fusion of classic Nigerian pepper soup with Asian noodles and some Mexican cilantro right here. I'm going to go through the ingredients so you can join me as I make this. First of all, we're going to have a pound of turkey drums. And I cut this into little chunks because it makes it easier to cook and it cooks faster when you do that. I also have our rice noodles right here, and this is primarily made from flour, rice flour and water, and it's mostly found in the Eastern and Southeast Asian region of the world. I also have sage, I have some rosemary and some thyme, and I have onions, ginger, and mushroom. And then I have our spices over here. It's crawfish, red pepper, salt, and pepper soup spice, which is unique to this recipe. All right, so we're gonna get started. First, we are going to cut up our onions. I'm gonna use about half a cup of onions on this. And I'm just gonna make small minced cuts on this. And the reason I do that is because it helps make the onions invisible pretty much in your recipe. And we're gonna cut the ginger. I'm gonna use about 3 inches of this ginger. And that gives me about a tablespoon of my ginger. And I try to mince it up really good. It works out pretty good. All right, so we have our ginger, we have our onions. So I have a pound of the turkey drums, and I'm gonna put that in a pot. Put some water. I have 3½ cups of water in here. If you spill some water, it's okay. It happens. And I will put in a red pepper. I'm gonna use a tablespoon of red pepper right now, and we'll use the second, when we have it boiling, we'll put another tablespoon. Put a little salt. And I like to put a tablespoon of our crawfish. And crawfish is just prawns that are dried up and ground. I will use a total of 2 tablespoons in this recipe, but I start off with 1 tablespoon now. And I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon of onions. All right, and then we're gonna put this on here and turn this on. And we have that cooking on low heat. And this is gonna cook for about 20 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'll go ahead and get my other ingredients ready. Our rice noodle is fine the way it is. I don't need to break it up till I'm ready to put it in the pot. And I have my sage. I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. I have about a few leaves of the sage, is fine. And that gives you about half a tablespoon. Oh, I'm sorry, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of sage, half a teaspoon of rosemary, and half a teaspoon of thyme. And I'm gonna take the rosemary off the stem, and that just helps me cut it up really nice. And a trick to getting the leaves off the thyme stem is to leave it out overnight, and it dries up a little bit, and it makes it easier to come off the stem, so you don't have to struggle with getting up. This is so good because it smells, the sage and the thyme and the rosemary gives you a unique aroma to this recipe. I love to use fresh when available, and if you do not have fresh, you can use the dried sage and rosemary. You can pick up one in the store. And I can go ahead and put all of this in my bowl. And next, I'm gonna cut up my mushrooms. It's always good to clean up your space as you work. It makes it easier to clean up at the end. My mushroom, I'm gonna cut it up in just rough, coarse chops. Nothing too fancy. It gives me about half a cup of mushroom. Mushrooms are really great. They use a lot in Asian cuisine, and since we're fusing cuisines from Africa with other parts of the world on the show, it's a great addition to a lot of our soups and our stews and however else you would like to use them. All right, so that looks just about right. And we're gonna check on our meat. All right, that looks like it's coming up. This is a great soup because it just fuses together a lot of these ingredients that smell really good and also taste great. This soup is particularly used to aid and help with colds, like in Nigeria, whenever someone has a cold or feeling a little sick, we make this soup with the pepper soup spice in it, and that just wakes everything inside of you up. You just feel alive again just having the soup. So it's a hearty soup that really works. And I'm gonna stir this just to kind of help everything fit in the pot. Rice noodles, and you can just break it up. It's okay if you lose some. Majority get into the pot. Oh, this looks really good. I can't wait for you to try this at home and send me some feedback, comments, and let me know how your family enjoyed it and how you enjoyed the soup. And just a little more pepper. I love spicy. It's pepper soup, so your heat tolerance considered, it should actually have a little kick to it. So it does what it needs to do in your body when you take it in. All right. And we're gonna let this cook for another 5 minutes because the noodles don't take too long to cook. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. All right, so this looks perfect. It cooked just the way it should. And now I'm just gonna use some of the Mexican cilantro to garnish the soup. Cilantro is a really great plant. The whole plant is edible, so you could use all parts of it, but today we're just gonna use the leaves. And you can just cut out a few of it and tear it apart with your hands, is fine. Okay, and I'm going to stir that in. And if you feel like you need more, you can always have cilantro on a side dish, and your guests or your family can add in as much as they want. Okay, I'm gonna taste this. It's pretty hot, so it's okay to blow on it a little bit. Oh my goodness, this is so good. This is so good. Not because we're on TV now, but this is really good. you want to try this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and plate this. And just try to get as much meat as you can. This is an excellent fusion recipe. Okay, that looks perfect. There you have it. Turkey noodle pepper soup. A fantastic recipe that you can share with your loved ones, with friends. Enjoy it, try it at home, and let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me here at Dev's Kitchen, where everyone cooks. See you next time.